Hi, it's Helen with So Kind of Wonderful, and we are working on butterfly fields. This video is all about the number 6 Crossroads Patchwork. So the little patchwork blocks that go into the butterfly. So let's get started making our little Crossroads Patchwork. All right, our next patchwork is number 6, Crossroads Butterfly. And this is a very, very fun traditional patchwork. I love the quarter square triangles and split quarter square triangles and how just by placement you get this very fun on point patchwork. So let's work through those steps. So when you cut out your things, you will need 6 of the main wing color. You will need 6 of the accent 1, which is this peach. And then you will need 6 of accent 2. So the combination of this makes quarter square triangles and split quarter square triangles. Remember, the detailed information for making these are on page 33 in your Butterfly Fields pattern. So first thing we're going to do, just look at this section right here. So there's a line in the middle. This is second step. Just do the first step. So first thing we have is we're making half square triangles. We're using 1 peach and 1 orange, and this will make 2 half square triangles. And then we have 1 black and 1 orange. And then we have 5 black and 5 peach. So match these up. You're making half square triangles. You have made those a lot at this point. Here you'll get 2 that color, 2, and then you'll get 10. So first step is just to put it together, right sides together, draw a diagonal line from diagonal point across, and this sew a 1/4 inch on each side of that, and then cut it apart, press the seam open, but don't square up yet. Okay, so I just stack mine like this, and then I go to the sewing machine and I'm using diagonal seam tape. So I don't have to draw a diagonal line. If you want to see how to do that, watch either number 1 or number 2 patchwork. This is how I go over to the sewing machine, all ready to go. Here are my pieces. Cut them apart. And I'm going to show you another technique. Because I feel like it's good to see multiple techniques. It gives you a chance to figure out, what works for you. All right, next step. We cut them in half. You can cut them in half with scissors, or you can use a straight edge and rotary cutter. Now, we're pressing this seam open, and here I'm just using my seam roller. And this will speed up the process a little bit. I won't have to go to the iron before I do my next step. So just roll that. There are multiple versions of seam rollers. There's plastic ones, wooden ones. You might even have a stick. I'm trying to think what that's called. And I have one floating around here. A lot of people use them for paper crafting to get a really nice sharp crease, but that does a really nice job. So I'm going to go ahead, cut these all apart and press the seam open either with my roller. Well, I am using my roller this time. And again, you could press the seam to the side, but in such a small block, I think it's better to press it open at this stage. I can also show you don't necessarily have to use a straight edge. If you're confident that you can hit the middle, because we will square this up. And again, just another technique for, being efficient when quilting. Here are my 3 piles, 3 different colorways. So now we go to next steps. So let's just work with this first one. We're going to do 2 of this, and then 2 of the orange and peach. And we are making quarter square triangles. So when I do that, I don't want the same color on top of each other like this. I actually want the peach opposite each other, just like this. And then you can look at it. Pull it back and look at it and say, all right, did I do that right? Yes, because the book actually shows you want the peach opposite, and then you want a black on one side, orange on the other. Now here, when I go over to the sewing machine, I want to make sure I don't mix anything up. So I'll put a pin in. Oh, let's see, let's talk about, we are sewing with the opposite diagonal way. So I'm sewing a 1/4 inch on each side of that diagonal line. And you just want your peach or that seam in the middle to match, and that will give you a nice point where those peach fabrics come together. Put a pin in. Okay. All right, so I'm doing that with both of these. So seams, align the seams, but have the peach going opposite directions. And then you can look, yes, that is correct. If you need to, draw your diagonal line. The more you make of these, it just gets easier. Your brain starts to process, oh, okay, I know what I'm doing. But we also give you very good instructions, pictures, how they're supposed to set up. Okay, just a quick check. Yes, my peach are opposite. That's what I'm looking for. All right, next 2. Now we have, okay, 2 of the orange and black, and we are lining them up with 2 of the black and peach. So here I have black in both of these. So I don't want the black touching. They need to be opposite of each other. And the seams align. Okay, yep. So I'm doing this. I'll just pin that. And then again, we're doing this perpendicular seam. And then 1 more. So line up your seams. Blacks are opposite. Yes, that's what I'm getting. I'm getting 2 black, 1 peach, and 1 orange. Yes. All right, now I have one, so just one of each. So now I have two that come together. These both have peach and black. So I just need to make sure that those are opposite each other. Yes, those are opposite. Give that a little pin. All right, and now I have four. So I have four of these left over. And I have 4 3-inch orange that I haven't used yet. So on this one, you're just centering. Just center the half square triangle on the 3-inch square. And really the only thing you have to remember here is, let's draw our line first, is that, again, we're still doing that perpendicular seam. And it's perpendicular to the pieced. So this could line up on the edge. You can center it. I just like to center it. And now I know I'm sewing on each side of that line. And you're going to do that with all 4 of these. So there's one. Do your next one. And then let's see what that's going to look like. Pull it back. That's going to give you a black and a peach with the orange that is a full half. I'll just put that there. And then again, you've got 2 more. Here and here. All right, time to go sew on each side of that drawn line down the diagonal. Here I have sewn them together. And again, you can use scissors, you can use a straight edge and a rotary cutter. Just cutting it down the middle of that seam. And then let's try our roller again. Nice. And sometimes this is easy too. Before you're still going to go to the ironing board and press it, but this really flattens it out so that you can easily press. So this is my next step. All of these are cut in half on that diagonal line and then press the seam open. Here are my pieces. They all need to be squared up to 2 inches. And so that is the next step. Let's square up one of these. This is the first time we've made a split quarter square triangle. So for 2 inches, I like to put the 1, 1 right in the middle on that intersection. And maybe I'll angle it so I can use my diagonal. Just like that. Same process, same steps, still making a 2-inch square. So trim, trim, rotate. Now put trimmed edges on 2, and then trim whatever is left. Okay, that needs to be done to all 18. So just a little bit of 2-inch block trimming. Here I have all the blocks squared to 2 inches. Now we're going to make 2 patchwork exactly the same. So first thing we're going to do is just I like to start with the corners on this one. And here, when I look at my block, the black and peach are actually in the wrong orientation. So I need, this one goes down on the bottom corner. So when you make these, you actually make a mirrored block. Okay, that one's right. Let's see, this one, black on the bottom here. We get this one in the middle. This one is here. And here. And then here. So if you like puzzles, this is a really fun block. This is kind of like a puzzle. Here. Not that one. Okay. This one. All right. So it should look like you have 3 squares on point this way and 3 peach on point going down. Okay. Now let's just set up our other one, and then we will put them together. So when you're making these, you actually make the mirrored versions of the split quarter square triangle. It's a very, very fun block to make. All right, that one's got to go there. Here. Here and here. All right, again, sew the rows together. Press the seams to the side opposite each row. And then sew the rows together and then press that final seam open. Here are the patchwork for the number 6 Crossroads Butterfly. Very fun to make. Super interesting. I love that this just starts with 3-inch squares. You can see the back, see how they're pressed. Very fun to make.